be a major movie festival going on in Berlin, but in Munich the red carpet's been rolled for the stars of politics. In the lead role was Joe Biden, America's new vice president. The audience were keen for a hint on the course U.S. foreign policy will take under President Obama. There had already been reports that the U.S. wants new talks on the anti-ballistic missile treaty, from which the Bush administration unilaterally withdrew. Obama had reportedly sent Henry Kissinger to Moscow last December to lay the groundwork for a bilateral deal.
We are ready to start negotiations on strategic arms limitations as quickly as possible.
Well, Biden confirmed they want to renegotiate. He also gave some hints on U.S. plans to deploy a missile defense shield in Europe, but it hardly shed the light on what exactly they're planning to do.
We will continue to develop missile defense to counter the growing Iranian capability, provided the technology is proven and it is cost-effective. We'll do so in consultation with you, our NATO allies, and with Russia.
In recent years, relations between Moscow and Washington have been frosty at best. There have been clashes over NATO expansion, the U.S. missile shield in Europe, and most recently, the August events in Georgia. But the U.S. Vice President was keen to talk about the areas in which both countries can and should work together.
Our Russian colleagues long ago warned about the rising threat of the Taliban and al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. Today, NATO and Russia can and should cooperate to defeat this common enemy.
It seems the new U.S. administration is going to have a new policy towards Moscow.
The United States rejects the notion that NATO's gain is Russia's loss, or that Russia's strength is NATO's weakness. The last few years have seen a dangerous drift in relations between Russia and the members of our alliance. It's time to paraphrase President Obama, it's time to press the reset button.
Would you call it a thaw in the relations between Russia and the West?
From my previous experience, I'm 56 already, I saw a lot of thaws. I saw a lot of good intentions, which ended nowhere. I hope this time it won't be the case.
Russia's long been unhappy with the American-led expansion of NATO to the east, especially when it comes to Georgia and Ukraine. Polls suggest the majority of Ukrainians are against membership, and other NATO members aren't keen either. Even the harshest critics admitted disagreements should be addressed at the negotiating table, with Europe unwilling to treat Moscow as an adversary. Condoleezza Rice said she's never going to visit Moscow now after events in August. You don't have any hard feelings against Russia? Because
no, why setting me up against Russia? I mean, why setting me up? There's no reason for that. No reason for that. I'll go to Moscow invited. I like Moscow. It's a beautiful city. I've been there many times, so why not again?
This Munich conference had more big-name delegates than ever before. At the venue packed with the media, it was a challenge to squeeze in, but sometimes to find a way out. The participants were looking at ways to reform European security. The big question was, with or without Russia. The security conference in Munich initially started in the midst of the Cold War. More than 40 years later, participants repeat in unison, the world is different, and it's about time the style of addressing the global security adapted to. Well, the hope is that this year's conference will set off the winds of change in international relations. Alexandra Kasharnitskaya, RT, Munich.